Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to another edition of the Living Day by Day show. This your girl, Elder Lakiba Wallace, and y'all know I always got to have some backup in the room because y'all be tripping sometime. And the backup in the room today is none other than the other host of the Living Day by Day show, and that's none other than Preach Elder Brown. Preach, what up?
What's going down? I'm ready to get this thing and hit it out the park. You know we do for a home run, right?
You know, every time we get on the air, we might get some negativity. So I gotta always have you in the room just to kind of handle my lightweight. Are you ready for that tonight?
Oh, I come ready. They know that already. I can see them right now. They just sizing themselves up. They sizing themselves up, but they can't handle us.
Well, I'm so excited about this episode tonight. You know, God has really been dealing with me to have a dialogue, if you will. I'm trying to let that MBA work tonight. The doctorate degree is forthcoming. I really want to let that work
You
tonight.
know, God always dealing with you, Lakeith, but He always dealing.
I know y'all thought I was the hood. I am from the hood, but I got some intellect behind a sister name. Just need to put that out there as a disclaimer. But tonight, I want to have a conversation about divorce. And before I really dive into that,
Whoa.
because, right. So it's going to be hot and heavy tonight, but I want the people to really understand who we are. You know, we just didn't show up on the scene. This is our first show on 108 Praise Radio, so I'm super excited about that. I really am, to be able to bring the LDBD platform over to 108 Praise Radio, which is an incredible platform doing incredible things for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So I'm excited about that. So we want to just make sure that everybody out there who's listening, y'all gonna gossip anyway, so I want you to gossip about the Living Day by Day show that will be broadcasting live right here on 108 Praise Radio every Thursday. That's every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so, Elder Brown, tell the people a little bit about who you are. You know, you ain't know anybody, you know, so just talk a little bit about who you are, and then we'll kind of dive into the show today.
Well, I'm so glad that the topic ain't about me today. So that's let me start off right there. But yeah, this is your boy Preach Elder Brown, and you know I'm really excited about what God is doing in this season. I'm really happy to be part of the 108 Praise Radio family, voicing the gospel, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop it on you hard and heavy. But I'm Preach Elder Brown. You can look me up all through social media. I'm all through there. Pick up a magazine, a telephone book, or something. You'll find me in there. Glory to God for that. And I'm just ready to go ahead and hit this thing out the park. Like I said in the beginning, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, I really need no introduction. Y'all know I'm bossing it anywhere God puts me to be. I said earlier, I am Elder Lakiba Wallace, a radio TV personality, as well as magazine editor of the hottest magazine there is, and that's the Living Day by Day magazine. But this show is not about Preach Elder Brown Preach. It's not about Elder Lakiba Wallace. It is about divorce. All right. And so the topic today is, should I get a divorce? And I didn't really think I could have an educational dialogue about this topic. So y'all know I always bring the best of 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 the best.
Always. Oh, always.
It's going to be hot and heavy. And so it really brings me great pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce to some and present to others the relationship expert herself, and that's none other than Courtney Lee Smith is in the building, guys.
All right, I am honored to be on this platform tonight to talk about divorce, and I love that subject, divorce. Should I stay or should I go? Because I did a little message a long time ago about should I fight or flight? Fight or flight.
That. Yes.
Yeah, so we got a good conversation going on tonight about the fight or the flight in a relationship.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was driving and God really just ministered to me and said, I want you to talk about divorce. And I said, Lord, what am I supposed to say about divorce, Lord? You know, I've never been divorced before. What am I supposed to say about that? You know, so I really, it's my prayer that, and I know God makes no mistakes. And so I know that I heard God clearly. And I'm really prayerful that this show would really penetrate the minds of those who are sitting at home, and they're sitting, you know, somewhere listening to this show right now, and they are having some thoughts, you know, about should I get divorced? Should I not get divorced? Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? And so the expert herself is going to have a dialogue about that. And so the first question I really like to throw out there, and y'all know how I am, I like to hit it out the park real quick. And so the first question that I will pose to the relationship expert, Mrs. Courtney Lee Smith herself, is if you are in a relationship and you have kids or you don't have kids, you just been with this person for an extreme long period of time and he's beating on you, or you know, we got some girls, you know, some
Beating on
ladies
men now.
that be beating on the men, you know. So I want to pose that question. If you are in an abusive type marriage, should you stay or should you go? Because you took these vows for better or worse. So does fighting and being beat up and being abused include, you know, staying for better or for worse? Does that include that?
Okay, in our society, let's get this clear, because I mean, divorce is a part of our society now, no matter what we say. And I know in the Christian community, because we are here voicing the gospel from outside of the four walls of the church. So let's get that all that clear and put the disclaimers out there, because there are people who are going to say, and there's nowhere in the scripture that says you're supposed to get yourself beat up. So if you can't find me nor scripture that says that and supports that. And I know the only reason that it gives you a clear loophole in the Bible for divorce, of course, is adultery, you know. But even in this day society, that's not a justifiable mean. There's plenty of people who have affairs and they stick through it. Now, the question in your mind, because you asked me about getting beat, do you stay or do you go? Now you got to figure out what the real root of the issue is before you make a decision if you're going to stay or go. Because a lot of times, if it is a family, something that's been blended down, and the person realizes, okay, it's something I need to work on in me. And we can just separate and you work on the issue within you so that you can become a healthier you and we can become a healthier us.
I love
that can work out. But the problem is, if you're saying this is just the way I am, this is just what's going to happen, and you are in denial and you blame it on alcohol, you blame it on the drugs, you blame it on because just this is what I've learned, and you're not willing to open up and learn anything else, whether it's male or female, whether it's you used to getting beat. Because you've grown up in a household where beating was the reason, and now everybody around you is telling you, stay. Hey, I got beat, you got beat, everybody's supposed to get beat, this is how it works. That's not a reality, because there are some things that are roots that we just need to yank up in our Christian community and say, that's enough, and really kill them. You know, like you take weed, get out in there and kill the weeds that's in your relationship. But the key to it is identifying the root. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing doing the separation time while the work is going on to be faithful and honest to each other? Because don't say, I'm going to separate for a year, go to this council and work on this, and then both of y'all singing other people.
Right.
And y'all doing other things, and y'all still not working on your relationship.
Right.
So yes, it depends on each individual and how much work they're willing to put in to get past it. I'm not saying y'all stay there and still beat up each other. The key was you separate and get to the point where you all both become healthy individuals to come back to be a healthy us.
Wow, I tell you, that is so well said from the expert himself. But I want to also talk about, you know, I've talked to some ladies before, and they start really analyzing levels of abuse. Oh, well, you know, he just choked me a little bit, or, you know, he only slapped me one time, you know. So I really want the listeners of the Living Day by Day show to understand that abuse is abuse, no matter.
And it's a pattern.
If it's a slap one time, or it's a, you know, a kick or whatever, it's still a form of abuse, you know?
And I'm going to tell you, I came from a law enforcement background of when the protective order registry was done here in Georgia, and how it really affected people, because it is a pattern. And really, if you understand, a lot of times we don't spend enough time learning the person before we get in a relationship with them, or we miss those warning signs where it was clear that they had some abusive techniques, or we knew they had a problem in their previous relationship, and that conversation wasn't had.
Right.
You know, you saw it, you knew it. And a lot of times the abuse becomes, if you watch those habits, they get you away from a certain environment. They begin to talk to you in a different way. And sometimes it's that fake fake loving when you're out in public, but then they turn a switch on you when you become in private before actual physical touches happen. I'm abusing and neglecting you. I'm holding back intimacy. I'm holding back communication from you. So all of those are to build up to that next escalation. So if you say it was a little choke, it was a little hit, I'm going to stay, okay, which level is going to be enough till they break your bones, till they blind you, you know, which warning is going to be enough, and everybody has to make that determination themselves. But there's a place, and I'm on this series now about pumping the brakes in your relationship, knowing how to put healthy boundaries in place in your relationship. And the thing is, if you never pump the brakes and put boundaries on that, that means you've given them the sign to continue.
Right. Absolutely. You're basically saying indirectly that this is okay.
Yeah.
You know, you slap me, oh, it's okay. I'm mad. You know, you slap me on Monday, I'm mad, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then Friday we back lovey-dovey again, you know. So you're really saying indirectly that even though you don't like it, because I never want to, you know, put out the message that, you know, people just want to be beat up. You know, that's not the message that I'm conveying. But what I am saying is that when you don't do something about that, when it happens the first time, and you think, oh, he'll never do that again, or she'll never do that again,
and the problem
don't
is,
happen.
it might not come up to a long time later.
Yeah.
You know, because you say, okay, well, it didn't happen for 5 years. Okay, they've built up whatever it is in them, that animal that allows them to unleash themselves on you.
Yeah.
Because it could be from a stress on the job. It could be whatever it is that is their button, or you rub them the wrong way that particular day. But you have to be very clear that you will see that beast again. Because if I've revealed myself to you and let you know that I was that animal, if I told you I was a snake, I can't do nothing but shed my skin and still be a snake. I'm going to still be a snake. I mean, I might be a rattler to let you know I'm there. I might be a king cobra that I'm going to get you real quiet. But at one point, I'm going to allow you to see. Yeah, I'm going to show you myself. And you need to be real to see that.
Elder Brown, I know you got something to say about this because this is a really sensitive subject to me. So go ahead and jump in because I think I'm about to go into deep waters.
Yeah. I mean, I'm laughing because, I mean, you know, it's true because sometimes, you know, after a while you've been cool, you've been calm, you've been collected, and all of a sudden now you didn't change into this beast because, like you said, it's been there all the time. It's amazing, though, that as it relates to scripture, or maybe I should just say Christendom, we always find a reason to divorce. I mean, there are reasons. And when I say there are reasons, I'm saying there are reasons that people stipulate why they would divorce, you know, other than what the Bible says. We know cheating and adultery and all this, whatever. But the way our minds are set up and the way the world is, I mean, right now, if you sleep on the opposite side of the bed, or if you snore, or if you make too much noise, if you do something, people will yell divorce. And the society is so jacked up now that people will divorce you for the smallest stuff. You know, you spent too much money out of the bank account. You hide in the credit card. You got a passcode on your phone. I'm leaving you. And we've gotten so acceptable to making divorce be the ultimate decision of leaving somebody. Nobody wants to work it out anymore. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to pray. And so divorce seems to be the only reason to get a man or a woman. It's almost like a threat. If you don't do this, then I'm divorcing you. And all of a sudden now, on this contingency of I don't want to lose my wife or I don't want to lose my husband, so now I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. The other thing that, and I've preached about this, I hear people say, well, we're not going to divorce because of the kids. Now, I know we got, you know, people that are listening right now, and what I'm about to say, I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to look at, you know, this thing a whole different, you're going to look at it in a different angle, and I'm going to go there because that's just me. I hear people say we're not going to divorce because of the children. Well, I always say, well, let's say, for an example, you have this daughter, and you say, well, there are issues that are happening within the household, but because I love the daughter, I'm not going to divorce you. This is the man saying it to the woman, or the woman saying it to, you know, her husband. But they're basing their staying together and not divorcing, not because of the love that they have for each other, but just because they don't want to upset the child. Now, here's me playing the background of that. I disagree with that because it's almost like saying, we're just going to stay together and we're not going to divorce because of the kid. Well, let's just say this daughter happens to die. Do you leave now? Because now you're only connected to, and you say that you're connected to this person, but you don't want to leave them. And the only reason why you're staying, that you will not divorce them, is because of the child. So this is this other element that we do not talk about. The church does not talk about. We are, we are scared to deal with this issue because it's happening. And I like to look at it from a different angle because I do believe that the Bible does speak concerning it, but we have taken the Bible and it's taken it out of context. Yes. Am I making any sense to anybody out there?
Yes,
absolutely. Well, I really think, and I know we're probably going to have to take a break pretty soon here, but for me, and it's really coming back to me why God would really have me to, really dialogue about this topic here, is because I lived this life. I mean, my dad was so abusive to my mom to where we thought it, it was just normal.
The norm.
It was just the norm for him to go out, get high, get drunk, and come back in and fight my mom. And here you have a young lady who, was dating and then finally married an older man, way older than my mom, and she began to have kids from him, never worked, didn't even graduate from high school. I mean, she eventually did, went back and got her GED, and I love my mom dearly. My mom is no longer with us, but, she was the strongest woman that I'll ever know on this planet. And so I'm not being negative, but the picture I'm painting here is that, you have women out there who feel like, I'm with this older man. I really don't know anything else. He's taken me away from my family. Mm-hmm. Now he's abusing me. Where do I go? I don't have no job. I've never worked. I don't have no
That's
education.
Brainwashing.
So what do I do? And you have men and women, I mean, this happens on both sides, that they brainwash, thank you, Elder Brown, they brainwash their spouse so much to the point to where
they believe they're the only person in their life.
Absolutely. So what do you say to that, Courtney? Like, you're sitting out there, you're like, okay, well, if I leave, where do I go? How do I take care of these kids? I ain't got no income.
Okay, that goes back to the first stage of getting to that abusive stage. Mm-hmm. That's when you are being to the point that you've taken away that person from everything they know, every resource, every connection they know, and people take that scripture out of the Bible, where you leave everything and cleave to each other. I hear that, but you need a village.
Yeah.
You need a village. You need a community around you of people who can support you and identify when you're doing wrong and when you're doing right and come in and counsel to you. Nobody needs to be an island in a relationship because that's when it brings about drama. For people who marry older people, I mean, my husband's just a few years older than me, but
and he's in the studio right
now. Yeah. We won't even tell y'all how many years is different, but one day y'all tell y'all.
Right, but, that's another show, y'all.
But the thing is, you have to know, no matter what you don't have, it's what you have left, which is life. It's more valuable and worth walking away to keep your life, because a lot of people, men or women, can't give up things in fear of not being able to live without things, and we end up losing our life. And it doesn't even mean we're dead physically, but we've died spiritually, we've died emotionally, our dreams have been killed, socially. Our ambitions have been stopped, socially we've been killed because we have no place else to go, and we just shrivel up and die in our relationships because, as sad as it is, when you go to the church, they tell you to stick it out, fight it out,
See, yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with it is, I'm not disagreeing with sticking and fight, but you need to stick and fight in a way where you're empowering yourself, not making yourself a doormat. Mm-hmm. You can stick and fight and not live in the same house for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Separation, because sometimes you have to find out you are strong enough by yourself. So in that situation, there are probably millions of women who get in that situation more than men because, they come here, that's the American dream in this world, is to find somebody, and that's even biblical. A man is supposed to protect you, nurture you, support you, take care of you. But at that same time, you know, when you transition into a we, you are not supposed to lose all of you. You're supposed to become one so that you all are building together. But the thing is, when you die as the woman. That means there's no nurturing, there's no growth. That means the whole relationship has died. So you have to separate yourself, because you realize, now I'm no good to this relationship because I've allowed this man to beat everything out of me, whether if it's not physical beating. So for women who will allow their man to talk them mentally and talk to you any kind of way,
verbal abuse,
you are verbally beating the life out of them. There's a problem because you don't understand. All of us got some kind of value. All of us have a purpose here. All of us have a life.
Absolutely.
And that's the key. I think when we get married, sometimes our dreams become that other person's dreams. And it's nothing wrong with having joint dreams, but also it's nothing wrong with having joint dreams. But when you go to sleep at night, God is talking to you. Yeah. God is talking to you. That's all of us. He talked to us. Sometimes we blank him out. Sometimes we call them nightmares. But God is talking to you. He's taking you through something, and he's got a purpose for you. You need to sit. You need to listen and say, okay, maybe this is a season for us where we need to separate and become better as individuals. And I will tell you, you need to become a good you before you can ever bless anybody else. And our problem is we got too many unhealthy people marrying unhealthy people, and we got double unhealthy relationships, and then they go somewhere to get counseling or help, and instead of telling people telling them, hey, work on yourself, they telling them to pour all their energy into another person. And so now I've poured all my energy into you, you poured all your energy into me, we have nothing left, and I can't build up, so now we just both, got issues.
And here's what that stick and stay can really result in. It can be, and Elder Brown, you can jump in at any time, but it creates a Lakiba, okay? And because when I saw my mom go through that, and I'm yet still in need of some counseling. But and I talk about this in my book entitled The Deliverance Book. And so when a wife and a husband, you're in, let me just stick with me. Let me stick with my parents. My dad fought my mom so much, beat her up, tried to kill her, blacked both eyes, hit on the knee with a hammer. I mean, he did so much abuse to my mom. It then created, as I said, it created Lakiba. It created, now when I get into a relationship, if you even act like you want to put your hands on me, we gonna have some problems.
Wow.
If you even act like you want to put your hands on me, and I'm not promoting violence, I'm certainly not saying that. I'm just telling you what the stick and stay can do. And for me, it built up so much rage in me to where I found myself telling my ex, if you put your hands on me, we gonna tear this house up. Because one thing you'll never put in me is fear. You'll never put fear in me.
But the thing is, you did have the fear in you, though.
That's not healthy.
That's the thing. You had the fear in you.
I had the fear in me that I didn't want to repeat my mom's cycle. But I always told myself, I'll never have the fear of another man. Okay. I'll never have the fear like my mom had of my father, because my mom never fought my dad back. Again, I'm not promoting violence. Yeah. She never fought him back. But for me,
what is it?
Go ahead, Elder Brown.
It seems so sad that divorce seems to go around two particular issues, adultery and domestic violence. You know what I mean? It seems like those are the two things that happen to stick out, I think a woman, and they may cut my mic off after this, though, but I think a woman could deal with, they're going to cut the mic. A woman could possibly deal with a man being, and I'm coming from a spiritual aspect, so don't cut my mic, please. A woman could possibly deal with a man that, okay, he cheated, he was wrong, okay, I'm going to forgive him because that's the godly thing to do.
Right.
She may be able to muster that and say, okay, I'm going to pray for him and I love him, I'm going to stick with him. She may be able to quote that more quicker than saying, look, you ain't going to keep putting your hands on me, and this is the bottom line. So, and then if it's a sister, I'm in something right here. But then if it's, I see my mother deal with both of those particular issues, and I saw her tell this individual, like, let me tell you, this, what you did over there at Sister Sally's house ain't gonna happen over here. I saw the, that backbone in her stand up, like,
Don't
whatever
try.
was going on over there ain't gonna happen over here. So in other words, what I'm really saying is that, as it relates to divorce, the two main issues that happens to stick out is either adultery, someone being, messing around doing something they ain't got no business doing, and then this domestic violence situation. And I don't promote any one of them, but I'm going to tell you, brothers, and I'm going to tell you, sisters, that you find out that you end up doing that to the wrong person, and we end up flipping to page 7 in the news because you didn't got with the wrong person. Not many women are going to continue on dealing with a man being his infidelity, let alone being beat. But then there are also men who deal with the same issue, because it's not just the men and the women, but it's vice versa. And so I feel that prayer needs to be the forefront if you're getting together for that particular reason. But if God is not in the part of your marriage, if he's not in that household, I'm almost done, 8 seconds, I promise you it's going to fall. And majority of the time, divorce will go through a Christian home when you're not praying together, fasting together, reading your Bible together, having that space, because you got to have some type of space. And when you don't do that, it makes it so unhealthy. Now, I probably helped like 25 marriages right about now, so I know we got to go to commercial. But y'all thank us. Y'all thank us later.
That is so good, and I believe we're going to take a commercial break, but, I know that there are women out there who have gone through that, and nobody promotes violence, but you do have a group of women out there who they've seen their parents go through that, and they have this, I'm just going to call it anger, they have this anger in them, like,
I'm not going to allow this to happen.
I'm not the sister you can put your hands on.
Okay.
I'm not the sister you can put your hands on.
Let me tell you now, there are some things that can go good with that, and there are some things that can go bad with that situation. And I don't believe in that whole let me fight a man. Because first of all, a man can beat you at any situation. Because
he's stronger.
He's stronger. We were built to be the weaker vessel. So that whole let me beat you, well, I mean, it's something that can stop all that with a little peace and a little prayer. But that's a whole different kind of peace. I'm definitely not promoting that, because you'll find you in an 8x8. But the thing is, I am promoting you to use the resources that are available.
You should see your husband's face. Y'all know I'm just real.
He know. Oh, God. All about the peace, but we keep peace in the house now. But
thank you, Lord, for the peace.
That's right, for the peace. But at the same time, I'm not advocating anybody fighting each other.
We just
but the
having
thing
a little fun.
is, there are too many resources out there that at a time when, like you say, when that first choke happens, when that first hit happens.
Oh, Jesus. Not the first choke.
Well, yeah. Somebody said it was a little bitty choke, But the thing
just a one-handed choke.
Yeah. But the thing is, when there is that feeling of threatenedness, there is some place that you need to go. Yeah. And it is not always to the church house, because every minister is not trained in abuse. So the thing is...
Oh, you helping somebody. Yeah, that's good there.
The thing is, just because you are a pastor or a minister does not mean you're a counselor in that area. And I truly believe you need to have been through something in that area to be able to teach it to me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, doctor. Wait a minute, doctor. You're saying that the church does not have any choke specialists?
Oh, don't you start with me, preach. Now, because you know that everybody that says they got a label before their name, they wasn't even anointed by God. So they not anointed to be speaking into your household, into your marriage ministry. Now. So that's very key onto what subjects you take to everybody. That's why you need to research. There are every counselor can't even speak on there. That's not their niche. That's not their environment. That's not their struggle. So I'm honest about where I come from, what is my background, who I speak to. And that's what everybody needs to do instead of trying to take on everybody as a client.
Right.
Because the thing is, if I just want your money and not trying to make impact and change in your life, there's a difference. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
be sure, because
Yeah.
I mean, now the congregation I used to attend, they had licensed counselors, their coaches, and they spoke on every issue individually according to what their niche was.
Right.
So you knew you were talking to somebody whose that was their niche, not going because
Right.
first of all, one man cannot talk to everybody. Yes, he is supposed to shepherd you, but he's supposed to lead you within that flock to other people to help you. So be careful, and then you have to be careful if that sheep, that pastor is trying to help you because of his own ulterior motives too. So look at his house, like they say, look at the fruit that's coming from there. So
Oh,
we
well.
gotta be very careful when we run everything to the church house.
Right.
Some things are
Right.
good to talk with people
You come-
who are within your community
Or
of people.
experienced in
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah,
know.
you find some couples who have went through that struggle, who have
Right.
made it through that struggle. And we live in a social media world. You can find somebody who can
Absolutely.
actually help you through that situation. There are too many places. All you have to do is Google it, hashtag it down, and you can find somebody to help you through that situation. But the key is we like to keep our business private because I
Yeah.
don't want to tell nobody that my husband hit me. I definitely don't want to tell nobody my wife hit me because my boys will be embarrassed that I let that happen.
Right.
You know,
Like,
But
bro, why you got them scratches on your face? What
yeah,
happened
but
was.
the thing is, we
Mm.
gotta be so willing to get help to make a change that we willing
Right.
to embarrass ourselves to get
Right.
that change.
Mhm.
You know, because I've had to call, my radio host who actually, that's their niche. That's what they are experiencing.
Equipped to do, right.
That's their experience.
Absolutely.
That's what they're the expert in. Hey,
Mhm.
that's what you do. I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk about it, and you're gonna help me along this journey in that area
Right.
of my life. And the thing is, you got to be willing to tell somebody and be transparent about what's going on in your life.
In order to get the help.
Yeah, so don't be mad that is constantly happening if you've never opened your mouth and said, I need help.
Wow. Guys, this show
Right.
has it's just been amazing. We're helping, I'm sure,
Wow.
the masses of people. And, if you're just tuning into the Living Day by Day show, this is Elder Lakeeba Wallace and Preach, Elder Brown Preaches, also in the building. And we're talking about, should I get a divorce? Should I file for a divorce? And y'all know we could not have this dialogue from an educational standpoint without having a relationship expert in the building, and that's none other than Courtney Lee Smith. She's talking about, should I stay, should I go? But, I really want to get into so much stuff, but we have to go into a commercial break. I know I said that about 5 times, but this is some good stuff. It is getting hot and it's getting heavy right here on the set of the Living Day by Day show, but we're going to slip into a very small commercial break, but we'll be coming right back. Sit tight. What's up, family? Welcome back to the Living Day by Day show. Y'all know we are just crazy, having a lot of dialogue while we were not on air. But this is Elder Lakiva Wallace still in the building. Preach Elder Brown Preach is also here. We are dialoguing today, guys, and it has really gotten hot and heavy up in here. A lot of conversations on air, off air, and it's all about, should I file for divorce? And we got this expert in the building. She causing some problems, y'all. We got this expert in the building. She's just laying it down. She's laying the law down. And that I call her the relationship expert, none other than Courtney Lee Smith. Welcome back to the show.
All right, all right.
Well, before we went on commercial break, I was telling y'all about Lakiba. I was telling y'all about how, and y'all know I'm transparent. I witnessed my mom going through, should I leave? Should I stay? He beating me. I'm not fighting him back. I can't defend myself. He's dragging me. He's really abusing me. I got to go to the ER. My eyes black. Went through all of that kind of stuff. And it really made me become that person where it really made me get all this anger in me. Like, I'll never let a man put his hands on me because I don't want to go through what my mom went through. But I realized, and again, I'm transparent, I'm going to help some women tonight. Going through all of that, it made me realize that I wasn't fit to be nobody's wife. Mm-hmm. I was fit to be a knife. Yeah, I wasn't fit to be nobody's wife because I would cut a brother up and down. Say what? Because I really had this stance, and I'm glad that God delivered me because I've always had my money right, And I always would say, to whoever I was dating, it's really nothing that you can give me. I mean, I'm making six figures. It's really nothing that you can give me. You could walk, you could stay, you could go, whatever you feel like you want to do. The light's going to be on because I don't need you to keep the lights on over here at all. But that was not the position to take, and I really want to help the women out here because that's not a healthy response.
Yes.
That's not a healthy response at all, and that's why I'm glad God really used me to write the deliverance book, because it really delivered me. Because as I was writing that book, I saw there were so many issues in the book that was me.
God shows you.
Right. It's like, Lord, that ain't me. Oh, but yeah, that is you. That is you.
The book is a mirror.
Yeah, and so I really want to just encourage the women out there that your job is to make sure that, now I'm not saying if he put his hands on you for you to stay with him. I'm not telling you to leave. It's totally up to what you feel like. You shouldn't stay in a relationship that you're being abused. You might want to go to your parents' house or get your own place for a while. I can't tell you what to do. All I can say is that nobody should be abused. Yeah. I can say that.
Purchase a Greyhound ticket.
Purchase a Greyhound ticket and just get on for a little bit,
Well,
But
take a, what is it now? They have the Amtrak. You be a rider.
I know.
You can take,
do something.
They have an Amtrak rider thing, so get a book out of you, while you take a little leave.
I know, that's right. So I'm certainly not encouraging that. But for the women out there, it's really time for us to learn how to empower our mate, our husband, to really learn how to say, again, I don't encourage, any man or woman to be putting their hands on anybody, but if you're in a situation and you feel like it's an unhealthy marriage, I'm really just encouraging you to sit down and have that private time, and have that quiet time and that intimate time with your significant other to say, hey, babe, this is what's going on, and I don't appreciate that. Or, it's even hard for us to say, you hurt my feelings. It's okay to say that.
That's a big key that's missing, healthy communication.
Healthy communication.
We have a fear of being free to speak to each other. Right. And that's one thing that we agreed to when we got married, that we would be able to say anything as long as we could say it in a respectful way to each other.
Absolutely.
And that's the key to anything. As long as you can say it in a respectful way, I'm willing to listen, and then I'm willing to do something about it to try to improve it. Right. So tell me in a healthy way where it's not confrontation, where we're not being argumentative, where I don't feel like I'm being put on the defense.
Right.
And that's a lot of times we can't get past to listen to the person because that person is offended or that person is put on the defense in a communication that we really don't understand what's going on in our relationship because we listening, but we really not listening. Our ears so clouded with anger, our ears so clouded with frustration. Like you say, I'm not able to tell you really how you hurt my feelings because I'm too busy yelling at you and calling you names outside of the box of what's really going on. So now I'm creating a bigger issue in the relationship now.
Right. Because you with all that screaming and carrying on. And, I really, again, I'm helping the women. I know Elder Brown's going to come on and help the men, too. I had to get to a place of healthiness in myself.
Yes.
And I had to get to a place where I can dialogue from a healthy standpoint, because all too often, and I'm just going to say it because y'all know I'm transparent, the African American community, we have that, unhealthiness about us when it relates to communication. We don't know how to have that healthy conversation. So we were brought up with the generation where you scream, you fight, you cuss, you kick, all of that. That is not a healthy demeanor whatsoever.
I got to give you a piece of my mind.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Give me a piece of your mind.
I want you to keep your peace of mind.
Absolutely.
And the only thing I need you to
that.
share with me is the love of Jesus today. And that's the thing. If we really understand that concept, and not being in a funny way,
right.
Because the thing is, if we can communicate with people with more love, instead
absolutely.
of more get back spirit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Even I'm gonna hurt your feelings the same way, and
you cheated, so now I'm gonna cheat.
Yeah, it's all that get back. I'm gonna get even, and I'm gonna say I had to be delivered from that now because I knew I was a tongue with a sword.
I had to be delivered.
I did. I had to be, because I knew there was not a word that you could hurt me with that I couldn't hurt you with. A bigger word.
Wow. Exactly.
I knew because I could. I was a wordsmith. I could cut you. I could bring you down. But at the same time, now once I've cut you, now what? Now what? Because I can't put you back together. God is the only one that can do that.
Absolutely.
So now I've hurt you so bad in our relationship. Now I got to go to God to put you back together for something I could have just kept my mouth closed about.
Yeah, I got to learn how to really exercise wisdom.
It's more emotional.
Right.
Yeah. So we got to realize that
it's more emotional.
Let our emotions take control of our mouth. It's a hard discipline.
It is. And that's why I think the effective prayer is, Lord, really show me self-control. I had to pray that, and I still have to pray that to this day, because oftentimes we don't realize that when we stay in a relationship that is so abusive, it filters down to the children. And then now oftentimes you'll have the son have that abusive relationship with the dad because he's seen the dad be abusive to the mom, or you'll have the son being abusive to the mom, or the daughter being abusive to the dad because now the daughter has seen some unhealthiness, if you will. So it's just so many different issues and so many different problems that come out of you staying in an unhealthy relationship. Nobody said that you got to go and get a divorce, but what you do have to do, and I'm going to let Elder Brown jump in here, what you do have to do is get some help.
Yeah, go get healthy.
Yeah.
Go get healthy.
Yes.
I mean, it's more emotional because when you look at when you have this man and this woman getting into it and they're fighting each other, and she wants to leave, and he's telling her not to leave, and then they burn each other's clothes, and she's trying to find a way to get back at him, and he's doing all kinds of stuff. It's just that back and forth because there's no. It seems like there seems to be no remedy to fixing their situation because he's the man of the house, and he feels like if she goes outside the house to talk to a pastor or talk to an evangelist about what's going on in the house, he has this sense of feeling betrayed. I'm speaking for men because we do. We feel like if anyone go outside of the house and tell anybody what's going on within the house, we feel like there is a betrayal there, and we have to X you out the door. The issue with that is that if it does not get addressed, as you said, Elder Lakiba, it happens to trickle off toward the kids, and then as the kids grow up, we as Christian leaders know this to be a generational curse, because if it happens with the dad and it happens with the mother and it does not get fixed, then that spirit enters into the child. And when they get older, he saw his mom, or I should say the father. He saw the father, beat the mom. And now he has in the back of his mind, man, when mom and dad got into it and dad put it on her, he straightened her out.
Yeah.
So when I get into it with my girl, who you think you're talking to? And now he done gave her 4-5 fingers across the forehead, and he feel like his dad now. And it's that manly adrenaline rush. Yeah. Oh, they're going to block me today. But it happens because we as men feel like if we saw our dad, I'm speaking for the men, if we saw our father do something and it worked, I don't care how much negative or how wrong it was, if we saw dad do it and it worked, He's Superman, so we gonna do it in our household. And I can tell you right now that 9 times out of 10, majority of the males that have seen their father, stepfather, brother, uncle do something to a woman, to their wife or whoever, and it seems to them that it worked. Oh, wow, she shut up after he said that. I'm going to use that in my house.
Yeah.
And so now he starts running his house the way Dad ran the house. Oh, I'm helping some people.
Oh, yes, God.
And so that spirit, if it does not get fixed, if it does not get fixed and counterattacked, then it continues. Likewise for the daughter, because now she looks at, okay, when Mom gave that, we live, right? So I'm gonna say what I'm about to say, so y'all understand this. Mom gave Dad some of that Salisbury, so now he cool now. So when I have my issue in my house, I know how to quiet my man down. I'm gonna give him some. And see, giving him some don't fix the situation. It puts a Band-Aid on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm done.
I don't even know what to say after that one.
Well,
I'm going to let the expert step in here.
The whole thing is, it really goes back to how we started in the beginning of dealing with the roots.
Right.
But because the key issue there is, all we did is line up another generation, and we've got the roots deeper and deeper of bad behavior. But the thing is, what you said, which really got me, is we spend so much time trying to emulate somebody else's relationship, and we aren't married to that person. That might have worked, for your mama maybe in that generation, and maybe it didn't. All you saw is a change and a shift. You don't know if it was positive or negative.
Absolutely.
You just saw a change and a shift. You need to address, and that's where it comes back. We talked about that key of communication that goes on before you try to do something that you saw somebody else do.
Right.
You need to just quiet yourself and sit and listen and really observe what works in your marriage and say, okay, this is upsetting me. This is not working out. Let us sit and have a talk before this gets out of control. Because sometimes if we think a lot of time, if we think all the time before we do something, we will find the right answer in our relationships. Yeah. And they're never out of an emotional place. Mm-hmm. Anytime we react out of strict emotions and no God and common sense is combined, I did say God and common sense, both of them together got to be combined. Mm-hmm. And actually emotions have to be removed out of that situation. Mm-hmm. Because anytime you act purely out of emotions, that is just like you getting on the Indy going in circles, because all you're doing is going fast. You're just going fast, but there's nothing you're seeing. There's no movement. There's no progression. So the key is, for if you're talking about dealing with somebody that's being violent, if you're talking about adultery, and to me, I don't even know why we put them on the same level, because they're totally different beasts. They're totally, and I mean, besides there are a lot of curses and a lot of insecurity that goes on both of them, on both ends, because both of those are products of insecurity or are products of emulating other people's behavior. But to me, those actually, both of them deal with people who are insecure and dealing with learning how to really deal with another person, because I don't want to learn how to deal with you. So the easiest thing is for me to slap you, because I ain't got to listen to you. I don't have to talk to you. This is going to shut you up, and this is going to end this situation for this moment. Right. But now I've learned that works for this moment. So whatever worked for the next moment, the next moment, the next moment.
Pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern. Long as but the thing is, it just becomes a lazy, selfish person. Right. And then to me, that's the reason why all divorces happen, because we get to the point where one person has decided, I'm not going to work on me no more. I like it.
Wow.
Change. I like me where I am right now.
Absolutely.
So that's saying, if my spouse came to me and said, we got an issue, this is a problem, you need to work on this, and now 5 years later, he's still saying the same thing to me. Because you got to give time for God to work on people. And I'm not saying give people 5 years. That's just a number when I say God's grace on people. But the thing is, you should see some progression and you should see some change going on. And if you don't, that means, okay, let's have a conversation. Maybe you didn't understand what is needed here. Right. Because there is a lie to say that you don't need something from another person, because that's what God said marriage is a good thing. Right.
Marriage is a good thing. Absolutely.
So understanding that your rib and your head are supposed to work together. Absolutely. We need to have a conversation. Not saying that by no means am I telling you my marriage is perfect, but it is wonderful because we have a capability.
Healthy communication.
That's right. And I mean, there's some times that we have misunderstandings, but we come back and say, you know what, I ain't really understand what you said to me. Right. Let's do this one more time. Let's do this one more time so we can get this right.
One more again, as they say. Well, I tell you, I always, don't like this part of the show because
know, but we gotta
we're
end.
veering down towards the end. And you answered the question I was going to ask you that, about should I get a divorce? And so I thank you so much for just taking the opportunity to come on the Living Day by Day show and help me, help Elder Brown, and help all the listeners of the Living Day by Day show. But before we close, I know there's somebody out there that's saying, how can I get in touch with you? Because I need help beyond the Living Day by Day show. So please take a couple seconds just to give out your contact information.
Okay. I am Courtney Lee Smith, so you can Google me. I'm on Facebook, but on my foundation business, there's the Relationship Service Station, where everything is fueled to keep your relationship moving. But if you need to find me, my website is the Relationship Service Station. You can reach me at info@relationshipservicestation.com. You can call me at 678-718-5019. And this is like the perfect season going on. We're having a summer series.
Awesome.
Which is actually the relationship vehicle maintenance, which is happening at 10 p.m. every Wednesday. That gives people time in a little different time zones to catch up with us at 10 p.m. at night. Right. So we're actually talking on the phone lines because I know everybody is not social media. Everybody don't like Facebook Live. Everybody don't like Periscope. Everybody don't Instagram. And it gives me a capability to be a little bit more transparent, too, because You're not worried about what my hair look like, my makeup look like, and what clothes I got on. We can just talk and be real.
In our PJs.
Yes. Because that's after we've eaten dinner, we've gotten comfortable. Right. So I can be real and relaxed with everybody, and we talking about the maintenance, because I think people think, okay, once I get married, that's it. Ain't nothing else I got to do because I came with my perfect self into this relationship, and you got to love me. Okay, that ain't how it works.
Well, thank you so much. Elder Brown, just a couple seconds, tell the people how they may be able to reach you, because I'm sure there's somebody that may need just a little bit more information after the show as well.
Awesome. Doctor, I tell you, you helped me out, so I ain't getting no divorce. Praise God.
I hear that.
I prayed I don't. Listen, y'all, I had a great time. This is Preacher Elder Brown. You can reach me on all the social network connections. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, MySpace, anybody's space. I just did a Instagram thanks to Lakiwa. So I am out there. You can send me an email at preachelderbrown@gmail.com, or you can pray to God and say, Lord, pray for him. Yeah. God bless y'all.
Awesome. Well, I will be remiss if I do not say that the Living Day by Day show, guys, we are covering Mega Fest next week, and so I'm so excited about that. The Living Day by Day platform, Preach Elder Brown Preach, will be there, as well as celebrity stylist Precious Thornton will also be on the LDBD platform. Praise 108 will be in the building. Everybody will be in the building in Dallas, Texas. And so I'm so excited about having the opportunity to cover MegaFest. This is your girl, Elder Lakiba Wallace. I'm everywhere. Just Google me. You're going to Google me anyway, so just Google me. Look me up. Facebook website is www.livingdaybyday.net. This has been an amazing show. I always like to close my show out by saying, I love you real good, and you can't do anything about it. Be blessed.
Amen.